Introduction in Thailand literature. Thai literature was traditionally heavily influenced by ancient culture. It was primarily concerned with religion. Much of Thailand's culture comes from the ethnic Thai people. One of the most important influences on the Thai culture has been Buddhism. Many of the traditions and beliefs of the people in Thailand stem directly from Buddhist principles. Thai literature is not to be overlooked. In addition to many famous authors and writers, Bangkok was even named the UNESCO World Book Capital in 2003. Capital of Thailand was recognized for the quality of its program to promote books and reading. From the famous Thai novelists up to coming writers, Thailand was a wide variety of literature that's worth reading. Here's some culture trip introduction to Thai literature. First, Prabdayun. Prabdayun does it all, from writings to graphic design and more. As a renowned translator, his work on some of the famous pieces of literature, even written including The Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov and The Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. Yun is definitely worth checking out. Second, Santorn Phu. Santorn Phu is a Thai poet who lived during the 19th century. He is often referred to as Thailand's Shakespeare and is certainly the kingdom's most well-known poet. Many of his work have been commemorated in literary landmarks found all over Thailand. Third is Emmanuelle Arsan. Her real name is Maria Roulette Andrian. The pen name Emmanuelle is the same name to her main fictional character in her famous book. The book is about the wife heading to Bangkok to meet her lover. The characters of the story The Gold Harvest are Nai Hatong, husband of Nang Song Sai, who dreams of turning copper into gold. He is very eager of achieving of what he is doing foolish. Second is Nang Song Sai. Nang Song Sai is the wife of Nai Hatong. She helped Nai Hatong in achieving his dreams. She is a very clever woman, a faithful wife, and a good daughter. The last is the father of Nang Song. This story. Long ago, in old Ayodhya, there lived a man named Nai Hatong, who dreamed of turning copper into gold. His wife, Nang Song Sai, had a little faith in magic. She believed in the wealth of nature and the richness of earth. When her husband boasted, "Someday, we will be the richest people in Ayodhya," she listened patiently. However, when all their tikal had been used for experiments, she decided something to be done about her husband's great expectation. She said to her husband, "Nai Hatong, you have experimented with copper and monkey's paw, copper and lizard's tail. You have polished copper in the gold stripe of fur cut from the tiger's skin, but the copper did not turn into gold. Why don't you give up this dream and go to work like the other men?" Her husband said, "My child, this is not right. With each experiment, my magic has grown stronger." "My Penrai, never mind my husband. You must do what you must do," she answered. The next day, however, she went home to see her father and asked him what to do about Nai Hatong's understandable search for gold. Her wise old father did not seem disturbed. He said, "Pai, go now and say nothing of this meeting. I have a plan to help your husband." The next day, Nai Hatong received an invitation to dine with her father-in-law at Ginoko, or mealtime. Nai Hatong was there on the mat-covered floor beside the elderly gentleman. The old man said, "My son, since you desire power and a long life, you sit facing east. I see honor and dignity, so I shall sit facing west." "Chai, yes, my father, I will always follow the old relief. I never sit facing north when I eat, for I fear that bad luck such an action would cost. But sometimes I eat facing south, because I would like to have esteem and respect." The old man smiled and nodded in agreement. A servant interrupted a conversation by placing a large tray beating bowls of white rice, Had chicken furry, roasted turtle eggs, vegetables, and numbrik, a spicy sauce made from beetles and fish paste. Another tray held bowls of the fresh water for washing, cloths for drying, and lime scent for perfuming the hands. The man ate from the same bowls, using the fingers of their hands. They didn't speak very much while eating, because the delicious foods demanded their complete attention. The curry that was spicy yet sweet with the added milk of coconut, the rice curry, and fish from the top of the pot. Namprit beat the tongue, but it was good, and made the mild milk drink more tasty by contrast. When the meal was over, Nai Hatong felt as content as a baby gibbon sitting upon his mother's lap. Ah, we are lucky for fish in the water and rice on the land, he said. Chai, my son, but there is more to life than good food. I have asked you to come to see me this evening because I need your help. Like you, my son, I have been looking for a way to turn copper into gold. Now, I know how to do it. Nai Hatun drew his breath and made a long, long whistling sound. Oh, it's too good to be true. I can't believe it, he said. Listen carefully, Nai Hatong. I have all things I need for a miracle except one additional ingredient. Because I am an old man, I don't think I can work hard enough and long enough to get it. My Penrai, never mind, father. I will get whatever you need, Nai Hatong replied. This is not as easy as you might think, my son. I must have 2 kilos of soft fuzz gathered from the underside of the banana leaf, and the fuzz must be plucked carefully from our own banana trees. Furthermore, I know the fuzz will not perform the miracle unless it comes from the tree planted when the magical words were spoken. I can say the magic word, and I can rise the banana trees. I will collect the 2 kilos of banana fuzz for you, said Nai Hatong. The old man smiled and said, I know you can do this, my son, because I have faith in you. I will loan you the money to buy the land you need to rise the banana trees. The young man bowed to the altar. In the heart of each of them, there was a feeling of faith and trust. Nai Hatong was determined to prepare the fields in a way which would be most pleasing to gods who might influence his crops. For this reason, he went to his village Wat and asked guidance from the priest who knew how to look at the gleaming stars and interpret the wisdom of the sky. The priest's saffron robe glowed in the moonlight. His bare feet made no sound as he walked from the Wat to the open court. The glittering stars seemed to light the sky as the fireflies lit the darkness. The priest gazed at the stars as if they were the eyes of the heaven. Nai Hatong waited patiently for the priest. The only sound he heard was the lonely call of the gecko lizard. The only sound he heard was the lonely call of gecko lizard, hiding in the crack of the stucco wall of the Wat. He counted the lizard's croaks. Nang, song, sang, se, ha, ho, jet. Ah, it is a rare sign of good fortune. The gecko called 7 times, bringing me good luck. The priest returned to his small, bare sail and opened a worn, folding book. He said, Since you were born in the year of the ox, you must begin plowing on Wednesday, the 10th day of the 4th lunar month. Now, do not forget to begin when the sun is midway between the horizon and the high point of noon. Is there anything else that I must do? Asked Nai Hatong. Chai, you will ask your village chieftain to guide your plow 3 times around the field. When this is done, again honor Prapum with the scent of incense and the beauty of the flowers plucked by your own hands. All shall be done exactly as you desire, said Nai Hatong. He followed the priest's suggestion and added one more touch of magic. With the planting of each banana tree, he uttered the special secret words given to him by his father-in-law. The gecko had predicted good luck, So Naihatong was not surprised when the banana trees grew well tall, sturdy, and heavy with blossoms. Not very long after he had thousands of pure yellow banana and shining leaves with a soft layer of fluffy fuzz on the underside. Each morning, Naihatong gave Praprum an offering of rice from the underside of the banana leaves and stored it in a pottery of jar. Each morning his wife, Nang Song Sai, gave Praprum flowers and incense. Then he collected the beautiful yellow bananas, then took them to market, sold them, and placed their tikal in a pottery jar. After 3 lunar years had passed, Naihatong had a half-kilo of banana roast. His wife had 3 pottery jars full of tikal. Strangely, Naihatong was so intent upon collecting and storing the furs that he paid no attention to his wife's profitable labor. One day, Nang Song Sai's father came to ask if he would have to wait much longer for the 2 kilos of banana furs. When he saw the pottery jar partially full, he appeared worried. I am an old man. If you don't get more land, more banana trees, and more furs, I shall not live to see copper turned into gold. My Penrine, never mind, father. I will borrow more money to buy more land. Then there shall be banana trees, and I can collect even more banana furs, said Naihatong. Now, Naihatong and his faithful wife worked for many years. The moon rose and waxed. They ran after days until, finally, the time arrived when each had accomplished a goal. Nang Song Sai had collected many jars full of tikal. Naihatong had 2 jars full of banana furs. As you can imagine, it was a special happy day. Naihatong shouted to his wife, "Run! Bring your father here. Today, he can test his magic. If all goes well, we shall see red copper grow until it is as gold as the sun of Siam." When the old man arrived, Naihatong bowed very low before him and presented him the treasured banana fruits. The old man said, "Arise, my son. Today you will be a rich man." Naihatong trembled nervously. The old man, on the other hand, was not in a hurry. He turned to his daughter and calmly asked, "Have you made any money from the sale of bananas?" "Oh, yes, chai, my father," she said. Naihatong thought his father-in-law must be out of his mind. When the copper was waiting to be turned into gold, why worry about the sale of the few bananas? Nang Song Sai brought a tray piled high with golden tikal and placed before her husband. "Aha!" said the father. "Now, Naihatong, just look at all this money that has been made by following my direction. My son, I cannot turn copper into gold, but you and my daughter have harvested gold from the sale of your bananas. You cared for the young plants until they become trees producing delicious fruit. Is not that just a great miracle, as turning copper into gold?" Naihatong didn't answer because he felt like a fool, but he was a very rich fool. His clever wife knelt before him to show her love and respect. When she arose, she said, "My husband, are you a master magician? With the help of the gods you cleared the land. You cared banana trees with the same loving care we gave our son. You made the gods happy, and they rewarded you with the golden fruit of the banana trees. This is not right, my clever wife. Do not put the story under your arm and walk away with it. It is your father who is the master magician. He has made his honorable daughter and worthless son-in-law the richest people in Ayodhya." Naihatong looked at the meaningless pile of banana fruits mounted high on the table under the smiling face of his father-in-law. Right there and then it is said. Naihatong mixed the banana fruits with a little water and carefully molded a statue of the old man. "What are you doing?" asked his wife. "I am making a statue of your father. I hope our sons and our sons' sons will treasure it as an heirloom. Each time they look upon it, they will be reminded of my foolishness and your father's wisdom." Summary. The story started in the old Ayodhya, where there lived a couple. The husband was so determined to turn copper into gold He mostly experiments with too much resources and is not able to work often. With worrying, but his wife Nang Songsai asked him to start working, but his husband still did not stray from his goal. She was left with no other choice but to let him do what he needs to do and just support him to his belief. Then, one day, she came to see her father and consult about her husband's behavior. He then told her that he wants to help him attain his goal. His father-in-law began speaking to him and convincing him to do specific things like to harvest special fuzes that can only be used if it is self-grown and from specific banana trees. He then consulted with the priest and had done what he had told to do. Days went on, and he had accomplished harvesting. He didn't notice that while he was doing all these things, his wife sold most of the fruits and was able to earn a lot of money from it. The day finally came when his father-in-law will attempt to turn copper into gold. But then he says that he can't, and he told him to look at his and his wife's earnings from the banana trees. He then felt like a fool, yet he was thankful for him. From the fuzzes, he molded it into a statue of his father-in-law. The theme of the story, first, is hard work. If you want to achieve something, you must work hard and accept that tolerate delay, troubles, and suffering, but getting angry or upset. Second is patience. In order to be successful, one person must know what patience is. He or she needs to keep trying and never stop working. For good things comes for those who wait patiently. So the moral lesson of the story about harvest is if a person wants his or her dreams to come true, they must work hard on it and move. Because if you are lazy enough, you can't reach your dream. Also, we can see in the story that parents can only give good advice or put them into the right path, but the final forming of the person's character lies in their own hands.